Halloran lifted his chin, reclaiming the floor. He was a politician. He knew how to pivot. History shows us, Dr. Vale, that progress can be dangerous if it moves too fast. That's why we have government, to ensure stability, to ensure... History shows us people in power always use that excuse, Vale cut in. His voice had shifted. It was lower now, steadier. The conversational tone was gone. This was the voice his students had revered, the kind of voice that grips you by the chest. Let's take a walk, Governor. Vale's eyes were locked on Halloran. He wasn't speaking to Elliot or the microphone anymore. Back in the Middle Ages, a handful of lords owned everything: the land, the food, even the people. A peasant broke his back from dawn till dark, and for what? So someone in a castle could live fat while they starved. The system was stable, the system was regulated, and it was pure human-led suffering. Then the Industrial Revolution came. Different uniforms, same story. Factory owners crammed kids onto machines, made families work 100 hours a week in buildings that were death traps. Rich men in top hats called it progress. Workers called it hell. And today, you think we've evolved? We just got better fonts. Elliot watched, frozen, as his small, dusty studio became a courtroom. A kid has to buy a degree just to get a job, Vale continued, his voice a low, rhythmic cadence. And the universities strap them with a mortgage on their future before they're even old enough to drink. Families work 2-3 jobs and still can't cover rent. They're one medical bill, one layoff, one broken car away from total annihilation. Tell me, Governor, what's the difference between that and serfdom? The chat feed on Elliot's monitor, usually a slow crawl, exploded. He couldn't read it all, just a digital scream. He's not wrong. My student loan is $120K. This is the truth. Halloran tried to push back, his voice tightening. We've reformed since then. We have labor laws. We have a safety net. You're being cynical. Vale didn't even blink. Safety net? Governor, people fall straight through it every day. Ask the mom who works 2 jobs and still skips meals so her kids can eat. Ask the dad who paid taxes his whole life and still can't afford the medicine when he gets sick. That's not a safety net. That's a noose. The governor's smile cracked. The polish was gone. He looked, for the first time, like a man who had lost his script. Listen, I understand the anger, Halloran stammered, but AI is different. It's an intelligence, not a tool. It can't feel compassion. It can't understand suffering. It can't bleed. If you hand it power, you will lose your humanity. It was the right pivot, the emotional argument, the last refuge. Vale's voice dropped to a whisper, so low Elliot instinctively pushed the gain slider up. The sound was sharp enough to cut steel. Our humanity, Vale said, was stolen by humans long ago. Halloran flinched as if he'd been struck. Stolen by kings and landlords, by factory owners and CEOs, stolen by banks that chain you to debt, by universities that sell you a future you'll never own, by insurance companies that make billions off your fear. You don't own your house, the bank does. You don't own your health, the insurer does. You don't even own your vote. It gets sold to the highest bidder before the ink is dry. He leaned in, his face inches from the microphone, his voice filling the world. Don't talk to me about machines stealing humanity. Humans already did. The silence that followed was heavy, alive, absolute. The moaning of the AC unit seemed to stop. Halloran's voice rose, brittle, cracking with an anger he could no longer conceal. So what's your solution? Anarchy? Burn it all down? What, you want to hand the White House to an AI algorithm? He was mocking him, a desperate, angry jab to regain control. Vale leaned back, calm as stone. The storm in him had passed. "Maybe," he said. Halloran's mouth opened. Nothing came out. "Maybe it's time," Vale continued, "to try something that doesn't need a yacht, doesn't need a donor, doesn't need to lie to get reelected. Something that serves one goal: give humanity back to humans." He looked directly at the governor, and his final words landed like a hammer striking an anvil. "We've tried humans. It didn't work."